With that being said, let's hop straight into these.
Avatar Aang is back and ready for his return to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2,
Oh,
with a
it's the
fresh new
Marvel
moveset and
thing.
design totally fit for an airbending master. With some returning movement options like his air scooter and glider, as well as the
Yes,
addition of
sir.
another jump, Aang has excellent movement capabilities and
He didn't
fantastic
have
combo
another jump
potential.
before?
As the Avatar and master of all four elements, Aang naturally has other abilities at his disposal besides just air.
Okay. That's one major improvement off the rip. Cause one of the complaints that like I and many other people with eyesight that actually watched Avatar, one of like our biggest complaints is that this nigga only had one element while Korra had access to multiple elements. Avatar was pretty much just an airbender, and like everybody playing the game was like, yo, how he the Avatar and all he could do is airbend, and then he has one move that he can only use over 100% that has earth, water, fire, and all the other elements in one, but the rest of his moveset is just air. Like what the fuck? That's off rip from what I'm seeing. They improved this character and they redid this character. I wouldn't want to say from the ground up, but they redid most of this character's moveset for the better from what I seen off these first 5 seconds. But let's watch the rest of the video and see what they really talk about.
Airbending.
Oh wait,
His side special
hold up. I got this on red. Let me switch it to multicolor. Yeah, let's get some representation for the other. Let's get some representation for the other tribe.
pushes enemies back and lights them on fire, which does damage over time. And his neutral
Okay,
special,
he has a
Ice
burn
Shards, is a
move.
chargeable attack where, if in the air, he'll throw the shards diagonally, and if on the ground, they'll be tossed
So
straight ahead.
Sheik needles.
His grounded and aerial down charge attacks are both devastating earthbending techniques. In addition to the powerful pillars of stone that erupt from the ground after landing with the aerial version, Aang can also spike opponents should you find
Stall
the
and
precise
fall.
timing and spacing necessary with his staff. Now let's take a quick look at
Okay,
Aang's
that
light
finish
normal
screen
attacks.
look way
Here's
better
his
than
light
the
up air,
original. Oh my
down
goodness.
air, back air, forward air, and of course neutral air.
So all of his
Now
main
his
arrows
grounded
are
light
wind
down,
except for
forward,
the
and up
neutral.
attacks. As you might have noticed, these are all entirely new moves from Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1, and by extension that means there's a lot of new possibilities to explore. Altogether, Aang has a very versatile moveset and can go way off stage to apply pressure and still make it back safely. His neutral game revolves around slipping and sliding with deceptive, elegant movements and generally defensive play. As you
One thing I mainly like, I appreciate that part right there where they showed all the moves, because watching the previous trailers, that's one thing I wanted to see a lot, like just them sit there and do a compilation of all the moves. Only thing missing from that, and this is like a nitpick, only thing missing from that is them, what you gonna call it, damn, what, how do I put it, it's like basically them saying the names of the moves and whatnot. Like that was the only thing missing from that part right there. Everything else, beautiful.
you'd expect, his presence in the air is very powerful, both in his ability to weave around a fight and to combo opponents. While he does have an excellent recovery, especially now that he can air dodge out of his up special, he's also one of the lightest characters in the game, which makes him much easier to knock out. If you love having lots of unique movement and combo options, maybe Aang is the avatar for you. Thanks for watching.
The Sozin's comment. That's a real Avatar fan moment. Now, if you just wanted to watch my reaction to that, I mean, pretty much you could leave now. But what I want to do is I want to go back and watch the original Aang trailer and like compare the differences in the character and see basically like, wait, oh no, that's a reveal. And basically I want to see like what did they do different in terms of like how they improve the character, how they change the character and whatnot. And yeah, let's that I can ignore. Let's go straight to, no, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. All right, move that up there. Those two are next. Move from playlist. There we go.
Hello everyone, my name is Marco Villalobos from the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl development team, and today I'll showcase the moveset of the goofy kid with the fate of the world on his shoulders, Aang.
Wait, why is it so low
Aang
quality?
is a highly mobile character that excels at performing aerial combos and keeping his opponents off the ground with his airbending skills.
Okay, see what I mean? Like a lot of his move set is just like him swinging his arm and then like a couple air attacks, then the one over 100% mechanic. Now that I think about it, they didn't mention that in the second trailer, which I think they could have expanded upon that, even though like they didn't get to it in this one. I think they could have really expanded upon that and like turned it into uh a state to where after he gets over 100, he goes into like that spirit world state. That would have been like a good comeback mechanic. But I can also understand the removal of its idea because generally speaking, when it comes to fighting games, like most people don't like comeback mechanics in fighting games because nobody likes, because in fight when it comes to fighting games, the idea is like power fantasy. So people want to play fighting games to like completely dominate the competition, and then when you're dominating over the competition and then they basically basically they get a chance to just come back, like people don't like mechanics of that nature. So I can understand its removal, but like on a casual level I think that would have been like very fun,
The
like a
study
fun
of
idea to
airbending
expand upon and
techniques
play
with
with.
Aang's slide attacks. Aang's slide neutral is elbow strike.
Nothing to do with any type of bending.
His slide up is swiping wind kick.
Nothing to do with air bending.
And his slide down is wind chop.
Barely anything to do with
Let's talk
air
about
bending.
Aang's air light attacks.
He just swings his stick, which is a
Aang's
cool
slide
move.
neutral air is staff spin.
That move I think they could have kept. It looks cool.
His slide
But the
upper
water
is
one makes more sense
aerial
from a
swiping wind
reference
kick.
Standpoint. I don't think they kept any
And
moves,
his slide
which
downer
makes
is
sense.
aerial wind chop.
We know they changed all these. Like these is out the door.
Aang's slide dash attack is sliding punch.
That I don't even know what the fuck this was.
Aang's slide attacks don't have a lot of range, but they make up for it by being very fast and easy to combo into each.
Like a lot of things from these showcases, from like the decisions in the early first game, were like a product of, how do you put it? Like basically being rushed out the door by investors. And I'm really glad that the first game flopped so astronomically hard, because like if that first game didn't flop hard, bro, I promise you, if that first game didn't flop hard the way that it did, we wouldn't have been able to get this masterpiece. Cause I think the investors, like, one thing I always notice is when it comes to games and dealing with investors and whatnot, is a lot of the times, I'm not gonna say that these investors are necessarily old fucks, but they're usually always people detached from specifically gaming. Because one thing you gotta understand about gaming is that gaming is a very, very, very niche hobby, considered still a niche hobby beyond like Call of Duty and 2K. Because like when it comes to gaming, yes, technically speaking, Call of Duty and 2K are video games. Yes. But if you ask the average gamer, what if you ask the average person who plays Call of Duty or 2K or God forbid Madden, what they play besides Call of Duty 2K Madden, like the big super giants of like social gaming, which is like Call of Duty, Fortnite, it's Call of Duty, Fortnite, Warzone, no, Warzone, Call of Duty, Fortnite, it's another one. 2K, that's what I was gonna say. Call of Duty Warzone, 2K, like maybe a little bit of Fall Guys. Like besides mega popular games like that, gaming is still a very, 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 very niche community with other niche communities. So think of it like, let's think of it like a niche community layer cake. Shout out to Ivan Reach. So at the very top, you have the people who play Call of Duty Warzone. Nah, but seriously, like to go with the metaphor, fuck it. At the very top is like the Call of Duty players. Then a layer under that, there's like the people who play Call of Duty, and then maybe a game like, I don't know, that's still popular but not a Call of Duty, like let's say a Diablo or Elden Ring. Then under that, you have the people who play like, maybe will go back a couple years and play like The Witcher, Mass Effect, still all AAA games. Then under that, you have people who like play a multitude of different games or are in very specific game category niches. So, for example, people who play fighting games casually, then under that, fighting games competitively. But on that other layer that I was talking about, let's say people who like RPGs hardcore, people who hardcore like open world games, stuff like that. Oh, another one for the top layer of the cake is Grand Theft Auto. Mostly because GTA RP is carrying the fuck out of Grand Theft Auto right now. But yeah, like beyond that top layer of the cake that is designed for casual players that make millions and millions and billions of dollars, the part of the layer of the cake that every investor thinks every game is going to get to, they don't really understand the niches of where these games come from, and they don't really understand the niches of how people interact and play these games. And that's really sad sometimes. But one thing I think that might have been positive is that they might have seen how they might have had got, because from what I heard, the Nick All Stars team, like they were giving the investors and stuff like that a whole lot, a lot of pushback for everything. But at the same time, you need money to make the game. So like they said, from what I heard, they said they couldn't push back as much as they really wanted to. But since the first game flopped so fucking hard, I think that what happened is that the way that it flopped was it flopped at a point to where it's just like enough for them to see that this can be profitable, but not so much to make them say, "Oh, you don't need to do anything else. They're already gonna buy that. Why do you want more money to make something new? Just put DLC, microtransactions, put this, put that, put that in the game, right?" I think it's at a point to where it's like they're like, we see this making money, but this first one didn't make enough money that we wanted to. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you more control. We're gonna hand you the reins. We're gonna let you do you. We're gonna let the game developers. There's a crazy concept. A lot of these fucking investors don't understand that. But hey, this might be crazy, but maybe you should let game developers develop the game. I know, crazy, crazy. It's a crazy revolutionary concept called letting the experts do what they're experts at doing. But hey, it seems like in a lot of these situations, investors really don't understand that concept. And it seems like they're understanding that concept and letting them do shit like rebuild the game. Because, like, if the investors of this game and Nickelodeon and stuff like that really didn't care or think that this game could be something, they wouldn't let them remake literally damn near the entire game over into a new engine, new character models, new character designs, and whatnot if they didn't have faith in this game. Like the amount of creative control I'm seeing Ludosity have with the second game, it looks like the investors are actually listening to them. And again, like I said, letting the game developers develop the game. Because dog, like this part of the video, it's another thing. I'm glad that if they put this in the that if they put the parts like this in the video, that they put it at the end of the video now, because like I think they didn't realize that like casual players, like I think they not even I know that in the first game they hyper focused on competitive players way too much, because like a competitive player would want to see something like this so they can analyze the footage and theorycraft and stuff like that. But the average Nick All-Stars player does not give a shit, or they'll wait till the game comes out and wait till they meet that good Aang online that beats the shit out of them and shows them everything that would be happening here. We're gonna see the combos, we're gonna see everything once we start playing the game. We just want to see what the characters' moves are. And at the time, I don't think this game... Yeah, at the time when these were dropping, the game wasn't out, so...
We'll now showcase some advanced Air Nomad moves with Aang's strong attack. Aang's strong neutral is Tornado Strike.
That could have been easily been an earthbending move.
Rising Wind Kick.
This one I actually don't mind
coming diagonally back. Upwards while dealing damage.
I don't think it's there
This
if I remember correctly, but I wouldn't mind it.
Which makes it a good option to start some aerial combos and break them off the ground. And his strong down is Slashing Air Blades.
I don't even know how the fuck that was a down attack. Nothing about that
Moving on
attack
to
is down.
Aang's Earth Strong attacks.
But that's a problem that I'm glad that they fixed in the first game, because a lot of the time in the first game, attacks would be assigned to down, but you'd look at the text and be like, what the fuck about this makes this a down attack? And that was another problem. They would show you the moves in action, then tell you the names of the moves. The casual player does not care about what the moves look like in action. What are the names of the moves? Like, for example, the fact that Mario's back air is named airplane throw. It's either named airplane motor or airplane throw. That's like a cool tidbit, a cool fact that a casual fan of the series would want to know. Again, I think they should have names for these moves in the move list, and that in the newer trailers, like how they did the little breakdown where they was like, let's show you all the light attacks. I think what they should do is while they're showing those attacks, have a little layup right layup. I'm talking about basketball. Have a little overlay like right around where my camera's at, this area, little overlay saying like the names of the moves, and then they show you the moves and it says the names of the moves, and while they're doing that move, it highlights it. They do the next move, it highlights the next one, and have like all 4 of them on screen at a time, or 3 of them, however many for that category, and it just lights up when they're doing that specific move so people can know the names of the moves. That would be a cool little idea to implement, but again, like I said, it looks like they're adding improvements and differences. It looks like as they're pushing these out the door, they're adding more improvements and they're adding more things, and they're making each of these individual trailers more likable, which I always like. I always love to see improvement in games and gaming, because right now, I'm not gonna say gaming is stale, but right now gaming has hit kind of like a creativity crisis with all the remakes and stuff that's coming out. It's not a lot of original games and original content coming out like this. Like, even though this game is getting a sequel, this is like a recent game, so really it's like they're building a franchise instead of just, saying I don't know what to do. Let's just make another version of that.
Neutral S, Sweeping Windmill Strike.
What the fuck was this? Look, even Patrick
Push it close to your
he's like,
opponent for
what
an
the hell?
additional
Like,
first hit.
why?
His strong upper is Whirlwind Punch.
Like, they dead ass was moving like it cost money to license each element that he used. Like, nigga, he's Avatar. Why is he using wind attacks? You can't afford for him to use the rest. The fuck?
And his strong down air is Aerial Slashing Air Blades. Aang's Earth Strong attacks make him float a bit in the air, which makes him a good option while recovering.
That was actually a good feature because it made it so that he was able to, like they said, recover a little bit better, and it made his air combos like superior to everybody else's. So that was like a W feature that they added.
Aang's strong dash attack is Palm Strike.
I'm gonna miss the concept of strong dash attacks,
And
but my hands are
the apex of the Avatar's powers with Aang's special attacks.
I'm gonna miss that as a neutral special. That move was actually kind of fun.
Staff.
I mean, not neutral. I think that was his down that I'm talking about.
Hold the button to continue spinning the staff.
Yo, did they pop up the menu? God damn. Editor, can you edit?
Try using it while edge.
That, and another thing they could have for the casual fans and the casual people, like something they could have did was came up with more creative names, because like spinning staff, like I'm pretty sure there's something better you could have named that.
Guardian to make it harder for your opponents to recover. If Aang's damage percentage is at 100 or more, his neutral special becomes Avatar State. He surrounds himself in an elemental bubble, dealing damage.
While this was a cool thing, I think they could have implemented this as a cool comeback mechanic or something like that, instead of changing it to a reference or something that he does in his slime meter thing. But I'm at least glad that it carried over in some way, shape, or form, because they could have just said fuck it and not did it at all.
To any surrounding opponent.
But that is a reference to one of the most important things in a series.
He rises into the air with his glider, slightly moving in the direction of the stick.
I don't give a fuck what Meta Knight did in Brawl. They should have gave him a glide.
Press the up special button again to dive into the ground, dealing damage. Just be mindful not to fly off the stage.
Yeah, because there
and
was
his
no
down
coming back
special
from that.
is
You couldn't
Airball.
cancel it. Yeah, Airball.
He creates his iconic ball of earth.
I don't remember if this was in the new game, if this was in the trailer, but if it isn't, they fucked up majorly because this is like one of the most iconic. This is like what besides the souls and comment stuff, this is like something that anybody who's ever seen Avatar knows about. Cause this is like
To ride
this
on,
is the
moving
shot
with high
that like
speed
that's
while dealing
the
damage
that's
to
the coolest
opponents through
shot in the
passives.
intro. Dead
The
moments,
ball
nobody
disappears on
cares.
hit, but otherwise remains summoned indefinitely. And finally, for Aang's stunt move, check this out.
Oh, it wasn't a first game. It just looked weird.
Aang's stage is the Western Air Temple.
Okay, this part
This is an extra
that's
large side
optional to do.
stage with
You didn't have to describe the stage. We can see, my guy. Match. Okay, nobody cares about that. But yeah, like overall, he like in terms of gameplay, his functions as a character, his functions as a character were actually pretty cool. But like as in terms of references, fucking terrible. Glad that they improved it though. Really glad that they improved it though.